There is this famous quotation by Freud that he says, dream interpretation is the royal road to the unconscious or the unconscious processes. And I remember years ago at one of your workshops, I was a translator, and there you mentioned that body is the royal road to the unconscious.
Yes, I think so. Although dreams are often very revealing of what the person is doing, the body gestures, the movements, the facial expressions, the tensing of the fist, the pulling of the hair, all become little signs, often of regression. I'm not talking about a deep regression into totally reliving one's childhood, but those transferential moments of telling the unconscious story through the body.
Mm. So body then functions as an access point in your work.
Body, emotions, um, physical proximity, uh, presence or absence of eye contact,
Mhm.
whether one leans in to hear or not,
Mm.
all tell some kind of a story about the mental organization of the other person. So I'm
Mhm.
always saying to myself, what is the story in the body? Um,
And then how does it look like working with the body? And how has it changed in your work throughout the years? I mean, you added some somatic aspects of body work, or was it like that from the beginning?
no, I used to do much more hands-on body work. I started out professionally to be an osteopath,
Mm.
and I didn't finish that because that would have sent me to Vietnam. But I had always continued those skills that I had. Then I was impressed by Wilhelm Reich's writings about the script in the body.
Yeah.
And so I started doing a lot of body work. Not right away. Actually, it was a woman named Jackie Schiff who encouraged me to do body work. She and I were doing a marathon together, and we were working with somebody who was regressed and crying and reliving some trauma, and another woman around the room um, was also crying. And Jackie
Mm.
said to me, "Go over and rub her shoulders."
Mm.
She was
Mhm.
like this.
Mhm.
Uh, didn't do it. And then when in the evening came, she was annoyed with me. She said, "I asked you to do that. Why didn't you do it?" I said, "I don't touch my adult clients." And she said, "That's not an adult. That's just a little girl inside her. And she
Yes.
needs your touch."
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting. So then I started doing more deep muscle massage and that encouraged by Jackie Schiff and encouraged by reading Reich's work and Ida Rolf's work on the body.
Mm.
Um, so I started doing much more body work for a long time. I did a lot of bodily oriented psychotherapy
Mm.
until my hands became so arthritic I can't really do well with that anymore. But what I discovered is that as I would do that deep tissue work and help them move tight muscles, what would
Mm.
come would be emotional memory. Usually the emotion first. They would just start to cry or they would get angry and fight back. And then
Yeah.
would come the actual pictorial memory, or maybe not, but often of what happened to them at
Mm.
a young age.
So the memory is activated in the visual also.
Now, one of the things I saw Fritz Perls do was also focus on body, but he didn't touch people. Um, what he did was ask people to exaggerate their gesture. All right. I
Mhm.
noticed your hand just went like that. Now do that again. Now do that again. Do it
Mhm.
intensely. Now do it with a noise.
Mhm.
Now let yourself know what you're hitting. Right. So
Mhm.
he would do mostly pick up on gesture and
Yeah.
exaggerate. Uh,
Mhm.
now what I tend to do is turn it into a phenomenological inquiry. Right.
Mhm.
Uh, you were talking to me and you went like that. Now do that again. Now just experience that. What is that hand doing? Yeah. Now you learn that somewhere along the way. What's that hand doing? And the man says to me, "Oh, I made another mistake, and I did that before my dad did that." All right. So that I take the gesture and turn it into a phenomenological inquiry.
Yeah, it's very similar to what I learned from Watkins' technique, which is somatic bridge, he calls it in hypnotherapy, like taking at a somatic aspect of experience and then
Oh, John
asking
Watkins?
John Watkins,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. He had a very interesting idea on ego states.
yes,
Um, yeah. Well, it was not well respected among the TA people, but in 1991, I brought him to a conference and he did a wonderful speech and a series of workshops, and I quite came to like his ideas.
yeah,
You know, I think the
mm,
title of his book is Ego State Therapy.
yes, and ego, yeah, and ego state therapy, and nowadays ego state therapy is combined with polyvagal theory and somatic work, and
Yeah, that makes sense. Sure.
utilizes a lot of that, which you
Yeah.
described. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, there's always colleagues everywhere putting ideas together in new forms, as though they're inventing something new, but it's just a combination of things that many
thanks.
people have known for a long time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you have another question?
Um, I think I asked about the accessing and how do you activate. If I want to ask another one, was how would the corrective experience come up in the somatic work? And this- maybe the script cure in the body. If we can speak a little bit also
Either
about.
through inquiring, you know, when you did that because you anticipated your father slapping you, what did you need just the moment before that?
Uh-huh.
Now, sometimes the client can't answer that. And
Yeah,
I might say, just before that, what you probably needed was his warm, encouraging pat on the shoulder.
yeah. Mhm.
Or he might tell me that. Mm. So I start talking about, I'll often move into then what I do in terms of explanation in integrative psychotherapy is to talk about what would be normal for a child at that developmental age in that situation. So at that age, what you really needed was your dad to be patient
Mhm.
and respect and listen to what you're saying rather than threaten you with a slap.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So I'd help him define what was missing.
Yeah. And that's when that maybe that child ego state in the body is listened to and acknowledged.
And that kind of transaction is what Eric Berne called deconfusing the child. You
Yes,
talk to the child about what is normal and what they needed and contrast with what actually happened.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I've come to really enjoy your morning questions.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a good day.
You too.